All right, so let's dive into something pretty huge happening in the DeFi space. We're talking Venus Protocol, and they are making a big move.
Yeah, big move.
We're going to break it all down. So if you're into crypto, and especially if you've been hoping, like the rest of us, that Ethereum would find a way to, speed things up a little, this one's for you.
Yeah, I think we've all been kind of waiting for this moment, right?
Totally. Because let's be honest, sometimes those transaction fees can be a real drag. But Venus Protocol, they might just have cracked the code. They're expanding to ZKsync.
And this is big news, especially because Venus is already a major player, right? Like top 5 DeFi lend platform, not just some small fry.
Absolutely. So we're talking about a DeFi giant already killing it on other blockchains, deciding to go all in on ZKsync, and that should tell you something right there, right?
It definitely sends a message.
Well, like they're placing a bet, a pretty big one, on the future of, decentralized finance as a whole. So joining me today, as always, we've got our DeFi expert.
Hey. Always happy to be here.
To help us, unpack all of this. So first things first, what is ZKsync and why should we even care?
Okay, so in a nutshell, think of ZKsync as like a turbocharger for Ethereum. Technically speaking, it's a layer 2 solution, which might sound complicated, but it's actually pretty simple.
Yeah, break it down for us.
Imagine you have this highway, right? Ethereum. It's super secure, everyone trusts it, but it can get really congested, especially when things get busy. So what do? You build a high-speed rail line right alongside it. That's ZKsync. It handles a lot of the traffic, making everything faster and cheaper, but ultimately, it still relies on the security of that main Ethereum highway.
Okay, that's a great analogy. What does this Venus Protocol expansion actually mean for the average crypto enthusiast?
Well, faster and cheaper transactions are a given, right? I mean, that's the whole point of layer 2 solutions like ZKsync, but it goes way beyond that. Initially, Venus on ZKsync will feature all the key markets you'd expect. WETH, WBTC, stablecoins, and of course ZK, the native token of ZKsync.
So all the essentials covered.
Exactly. But here's where it gets really interesting for those who like to maximize their crypto gain. They're bringing their Venus Prime incentive program to ZKsync as well.
Oh yeah, I've heard whispers about this Prime program. It's like the VIP section of Venus Protocol, right?
You got it. It's all about rewarding the most active users. So you stake some XVS, which is Venus's own token, and boom, you unlock a whole bunch of perks, higher rewards, exclusive access, you name it.
Okay, that's cool for those who are already deep in the Venus ecosystem, but what about the rest of us?
Here's the thing. Bringing this Prime program to ZKsync is a brilliant move because it shows they're serious about attracting a whole new wave of users. Like they're rolling out the red carpet saying, come on in, the water's fine, and we'll even give you a bonus for hanging out with us. And let's be real, who doesn't love a good bonus?
Especially in the world of DeFi, every little bit helps. But, it's not just about the tech and the incentives. We've got some great quotes here from the source material that I want to bring in because they really capture the overall sentiment around this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brad Harrison from Venus Labs, he said, and I quote, "Our goal is to make DeFi accessible to everyone, and expanding to ZKsync is a major step in that direction."
I love that. And it really speaks to the bigger picture here,
It does. Okay, and then we have Marco Cora from the ZKsync Foundation, and he's equally enthusiastic, saying, "This partnership will bring more liquidity to the ZKsync ecosystem and offer our users a highly efficient, fast, and cost-effective option for their DeFi needs." So it's clear that both sides see this as a win-win, but this is where I want to pick your brain a little bit. You mentioned a bigger picture earlier. What exactly does this move tell us about the future of DeFi? Are we on the cusp of something truly revolutionary here?
I think we might be. This whole Venus protocol expanding to ZKsync, it's not just an isolated incident. It's part of a much larger trend we're seeing in the DeFi space, a move towards a multi-chain world.
Okay, multi-chain world. I like the sound of that. But for those of us who aren't fluent in DeFi jargon, what does that actually mean?
It means that DeFi is breaking free from the shackles of a single blockchain. For a long time, Ethereum was the only game in town, right? But now, we're seeing these amazing new networks like ZKsync emerge, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. And DeFi platforms like Venus, they're realizing that they don't have to choose just one. They can tap into the speed and scalability of ZKsync while still leveraging the security and familiarity of Ethereum.
So more options for users, more innovation, more possibilities.
Exactly. It's like going from a world of black and white to full-blown Technicolor. And you know what that means.
DeFi for everyone. Tell me more.
Okay, so think about it. Lower fees, faster transactions, more options, it all leads to greater adoption. And the more people use DeFi, the more innovation we'll see. It's a beautiful cycle of growth and progress. This move by Venus, it's a signal to the entire DeFi space that the future is multi-chain.
So what's next? What should our listeners be watching out for in this brave new multi-chain world?
Well, for starters, keep an eye on Venus Protocol and ZKsync because they're clearly leading the charge here. But also, don't be surprised if you start seeing other DeFi platforms following suit, expanding to different chains, experimenting with new technologies.
It's like a whole new frontier opening up.
It really is. And the best part is, we're still in the early innings. The most exciting innovations are yet to come.
You know what? You've got me feeling incredibly bullish about the future of DeFi. This has been an amazing conversation. Thanks so much for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure, as always.
And to our listeners, stay tuned because things are about to get really interesting in the world of DeFi. That's it for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.